Okay, fine. So let me, I started the recording. So let me share my screen and then just start. Okay, fine. So yesterday we talked about backups and restore. If you have any question, you can ask. Else we'll proceed.
No, we can proceed.
Okay, so let's start with the high availability and disaster recovery part. Okay, so we'll start with mirroring. So let me show you some diagrams. So what is mirroring? Mirroring is like it's a
Replicating.
yeah, you replicate your data to some remote location.
Okay.
Okay, so you keep multiple copies of your important databases. So for example, you have 50 databases, but out of them 10 are required for your application to run. Okay, rest are like maybe for your internal purpose or whatever, but your application need those 10 databases. So let's say I have a server in New Delhi, and I want to keep a copy of it in, let's say, New York, because just in case some natural calamity comes, I want that my business is not impacted.
Okay.
So mirroring used to be very popular. It is still popular, but it is phasing out slowly. Okay, so instead of mirroring, now always on is taking its place. We will talk about that later. So, but it's important to know what is mirroring, because a lot of time you will be asked this in the interviews, and it's important to understand how it works. Okay, so let's see the topology of mirroring. You see in this diagram, we have something called principal DB and principal server. It means this is my main server on which my business is running. My application is working on it, and let's say I have 10 databases, so they are my principal DB, principal database. Then there is something called mirror server. This side. Now I think it's better. So here you have mirror server and mirror databases. So there is a direct connectivity between these two. I mean, all data, whatever transaction I'm doing here, they are being replicated to mirror server. Now there is something called witness server, which is optional. Okay, so what is the purpose of witness server? It keeps checking, like, okay, whether principal is up and running, it's working fine. So it keeps checking with principal. So whenever it sees that, okay, principal is down, it will intimate mirror. It will say principal is down, you become principal now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this is called as an automatic failover. It means what? Like, let's say you are a senior DBA and you are having a happy weekend at home on Saturday, and then suddenly the principal server crashes. Okay, nobody is there to take care of systems. So if mirroring is configured, automatically what will happen? Witness will automatically intimate principal, mirror, that principal is down, you become the principal. So it will become principal, and application will start connecting to principal automatically. Everything will be happening automatically. No interference is required. So there's no downtime actually. Application will probably a couple of seconds, you will get some errors, and that's it. Everything will be up and running after that. Okay. So it's very important for businesses because it minimized my downtime and the risk. And there's no need for anybody to be present in my premises all the time. Okay. So that's the main purpose of mirroring. So now let's see how we configure it and what are the prerequisites for it.
So in order to automate mirroring, the witness server is a must, is it?
Exactly. For automatic failover, witness is required. If you don't have a witness, you have to do it manually then. Okay, it will still work, but you will have to come and manually failover.
Okay.
We call that manual failover.
Okay.
We will see that also. How do we do manual failover?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, few things about mirroring. It has to be done individually for each database. So if you have 10 databases, it has to be set up individually for each database. You cannot do it for all 10 in one go. Whereas in always on, we will be able to do that. So that's the one disadvantage of mirroring. If you have 50 databases, you have to do it 50 times.
Okay.
Okay, and you can keep only a single copy of database. I mean, I cannot keep multiple copies, whereas in always on it allows to have multiple copies.
Okay.
Okay, so here one database, one copy, second database, one copy, third database, one copy, like that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, apart from that, there are two modes in which you can configure mirroring. One is high safety mode. High safety mode means I definitely want to make sure that whatever data is there on my primary has to be there on my secondary. My data is very important. Okay. So there should be no data loss. So how does it make sure that there is no data loss? Whenever some transition will come on principal, first it will be done on mirror. Once it is done there, then it will be committed and it's written in principal also. So first it goes to mirror and then to principal. That way it makes sure that it opens a transition like begin transition, insert in mirror, insert in principal, and then commit.
Okay.
Okay, so that way it's definitely sure that the transition will be there. But because of this, there will be a little bit of latency because first you have to commit at mirror, then my principal transition will be committed. That introduces a little bit of latency.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Right. Second is asynchronous high performance mode, or we call it asynchronous mode also. High performance means don't wait to commit on the mirror. Just do it immediately on my principal and later on send that transition to mirror.
Okay.
So that is high performance, but as you can see, there is a chance of data loss.
Okay.
I committed something here and then the server crashed. It never got the chance to send it to the mirror.
Exactly.
Right. So there could be a bit of data loss, but
So it's like a trade-off, right?
yeah, it's a trade-off. But normally, I have seen every company preferring this.
Okay. Okay.
There's a bit of latency, but that is so small that it never seems to have any real impact on your
Okay.
on your server.
Makes sense.
Okay, so this is what we prefer, high safety.
Yeah.
Now let's see the prerequisites, what we need. So the first prerequisite, primary and mirror instances must run the same version and edition. If I have SQL 2012 Enterprise Edition on primary, I should have SQL 2012 Enterprise Edition on mirror also. Same edition, same version. Okay.
Okay.
And not all editions support all features. For example, Enterprise supports high performance, high safety, and witness mode. All three. Business Intelligence um, version edition supports high safety and witness, not high performance. Standard edition supports high safety, not high performance, and witness modes only. Web edition can be witness only, and Express edition, which is free, so it supports witness mode only. What it means is, if you are installing Express edition on a machine, it can only act as a witness. You cannot make that principal or mirror.
Okay.
Okay, so different edition have different features. So mostly companies have enterprise, so they get everything.
Okay.
Another point is you can only mirror the user databases. It means master model, MSDB, TempDB. These cannot be mirrored.
Yeah, no one uses them as well.
Yeah. So they are not for mirroring actually. You cannot change the name of a mirror database. So normally we never change the name of a database on any live server, but that is not supported also. If it's mirrored, you cannot change it. This one is important. The mirror should be hosted on servers that can tolerate similar workloads. So just in case the crash happens, of course, all load will go to mirror. So mirror should be as strong as my principal. It should have same storage, memory, CPU, everything. Otherwise, it will crash, and second will not be able to take the load. So that also crash. So everything gone.
Okay.
So it should have similar load. And last is both database should have the database that participate in mirroring should have full recovery model. Only full recovery model is supported in mirroring. Reason being, simple doesn't have any logs, so all the mirroring is done using log files only. That LDF file, all transactions are read from there and applied to the mirror. So
Okay.
simple is not supported, and bulk logged is also not supported. So only full.
Okay.
So these are the few of the things. Now we can go ahead and set up the mirroring. Okay, so let's configure. Okay, let's see it live, then we understand it better. So for example, let's say I have these two servers. You will need at least two servers to configure it. So let's say I have server 1 and server 2. Okay, and I create a, let's say, new database which I want to mirror on my server 2. And I want automatic failover also. So I will need three instances actually: one witness, one principal, one mirror, right?
Yep.
So let's create database. Let's call it. We follow our standard naming convention. Today is 29th March. So I call it March 29th. Fine.
Okay.
Okay, and then I use it, and then I create a table inside it. Fine.
Okay.
So now I create table. Let's create a very simple table. Oh, by default it created there. Why it is already there? I never created any table, but it already has one.
It's in the master.
No, not in master. Which one?
It's in one of the default database model.
Model. Yep. It's there in model. So I created another table T2. Fine.
Okay.
And maybe I can insert one record also in this. So when I configure mirroring, I should continuously get data from principal to mirror. Fine. So these are the steps to create the mirroring. Set principal server to full recovery model. So by default, mine should be that only, but we should double check it. Whatever is the model, same will be this March 29th. So March 29th. Let's check the recovery model. So I go to, so recovery model is full. So fine. This is this requirement. Then take a full backup of principal server database and restore on mirror with no recovery. This first time I have to manually take all the data to the mirror. I mean, maybe my database is of 500 GB. So it cannot be done using like reading log file one by one and then sending it there. So it has to be done manually first time. So I take a backup of it. Which backup? Full backup. So let's take it like backup database name. Then what? To this equals to, let's put it in d temp, and I call it ar29.bak. Fine. Done. So I restore this on my secondary server, mirror server.
Okay.
And how do I restore? Restore with no recovery, right? Because it will continuously receive files from backups from my principal. It will keep getting. So it has to stay in no recovery, right? Yesterday I told you in backup restore, like when you put it in no recovery, it means you are expecting more files to be applied.
Yes.
So mirror database will continuously expect more files to be applied. So it will always stay in recovery mode. And that means I will not be able to read from the mirror database. That's the second major disadvantage of mirroring. You cannot read data from mirrored databases.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a problem. So this is also fixed in always on. So I go to March 29th. Fine. Okay. Okay. And then I go to files. I need to give it different name because I have just one machine, so I cannot have the same file name at same location, 2 file names. So I will rename them 1, 2, 3, for example. You got this point? Why I'm changing this 1, 2, 3, file names? Because I already have the database on the same machine. I have just single laptop. So at this location, this file is already there. So I have to change it.
Okay. Oh.
And I have to tell restore with no recovery. This is important. And I say okay, done. And then I can come here and check whether we got the databases here or not. So I refresh it. I got it. So it's restoring, which means I cannot read from it. But this is how it is. It is supposed to be. Next, take a transaction log backup and then again restore it with no recovery. So we have to take one full backup, restore with no recovery, one log backup, restore with no recovery. Fine?
Okay.
So now we will take a March 29th backup and I will take a log backup.
Okay.
At same location, let's have a log backup. So let's call it MAR 29th.trn, right? Transaction log backup. Say okay, done. Let's restore it with no recovery. Right click, task, restore, transaction log. From device, I give the path. I go to 10, March. This is the file. Fine. Okay. And what option? With no recovery, right?
Okay.
Restore with no recovery. Done. Okay. Now I am all set. I did all these steps. Now I can go and configure the mirroring. Till now we have not talked about anything about mirroring. We have not done anything related to that. We have just taken backups and restored them. So now let's go to database, right click, properties, and you will see mirroring. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's configure mirroring for this database. We are doing, as I told you, it has to be done individually for each database. So I'm doing it for March 29th. So you go and configure security. That is the first step. So now it's asking include witness server. Do you want to configure to include witness server instance? I'm saying yes. Let's have one witness also. Okay. For witness, I need third machine, right?
Yeah.
So let me check my third server instance is running or not. Probably it's not running because I keep it in stopped state to minimize load on my laptop.
Yeah.
So let's see RBT server 3, SQL server. This is my third server. So it's stopped. So I need to run this service so that I am able to use it. So I have 3 servers, 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is principal, 2 is mirror, 3 is witness. Okay. So now done. Now let's come back and I want to use this one. So I say, okay, I want witness because I want it to be a automatic failover. So then I say next. So these 2 servers, it will automatically tick, and witness I have included. So it's just saying which server you want to configure. So I'm saying all 3. Okay. I want all 3. So here, this is principal server instance. Then automatically it will create a port. Okay. It will create something called a endpoint. So if you go here and if you go to server objects, if you go to endpoints, and you will see a lot of different type of endpoints are there. One is database mirroring. So it will create a mirroring endpoint. Mine is already created because I've done it many times. On your machine, you won't find it there.
Oh, okay.
But it will be created.
Okay.
So for every server, it will create an endpoint. For principal, for witness, for mirroring, it will create an endpoint. And it will open a port on that endpoint. So like on this endpoint, it will listen on 5022 port. If I go to next, on mirror, what is my mirror? I have to connect to that. So my mirror is server 2, right? Server 2 is my mirror. So connect to that. Automatically, it will assign the next port to it, 5023, and same endpoint will be created.
Okay.
You can change these names if you want, but I never suggest to change. Let it be mirroring. Then I go to next. What is my witness server? So I go and connect to my
Instance
witness.
3.
Instance 3 is my witness. Connect. So again, new port is assigned, 5024. So 5022, 5023, 5024. By default, it assigns these ports to all servers. Okay. Then I say next. Here it is asking specify the service accounts for principal, witness, and mirror. So it means if they are in same or trusted domain, specify the service accounts. It means it's asking me to specify these accounts. Server 1, server 2, server 3. For my case, it's saying if your accounts are non-domain accounts, like in my case, they are non-domain accounts, leave the text box empty. So I will leave them empty. And that's it. Summary it's showing, and then I can say finish. So it configured all 3 endpoints, everything. Close it automatically. This screen will come. This is an information screen. Start mirroring. Do not start mirroring. So I'll say start mirroring. Again, this information message will come. You just have to say yes. And if everything is configured properly, this status should change to synchronized. So it's in the backend, it's configuring the communication between the endpoints. So if there is no error, then it should be done. Otherwise, you have to fix if you get any error here. And this is the mode, operating mode. You see, high performance, high safety. So by default, it's high safety, which is synchronous mode.
Yeah.
It's taking a bit of time. Yeah, the databases are fully synchronized.
Okay.
Right. So you just say okay, and then we can come here and let's check how it is working. So this is my server 1, and this is my March 29th. Where is that? Here. Now you see principal. Its role is principal, and it's synchronized. Fine.
Oh, okay.
And now let's see this one. Refresh. Mirror synchronized. Right. So it means what if I insert any new value in this principal, immediately it will go to mirror because it's high safety. Gone. So it means this value 2 is now at both places.
Okay.
So everything now I'm doing on this, immediately it's going to server 2. A copy is being made there. Fine. Now let's see the automatic failover, how it will work.
So can we mirror production database to test development database?
We normally don't do that actually. Mirroring is not something which is configured for testing things. It's absolutely for disaster recovery. So this server 2 is in New York. This is in New Delhi. So I just want to make my production server safe.
Okay.
So of course you can configure. You will get it. But what is the point? I mean, you will not be able to read from this database. So what will you do with that? So it's like It's like fire extinguisher actually. I mean, until unless a disaster happens, you cannot use it.
Okay.
And that's the disadvantage of mirroring. I mean, you spend so much money on a server and you are never able to use it
Yeah.
until the disaster comes, and you never want that disaster to come. So it's like you purchased it and you kept it in a corner.
Yeah.
Fine. So now let's see what will happen if this server stops for whatever reason, power failure, disaster, crash, whatever. So what will happen if I stop this server? For any reason, let's say it stopped. So automatic failover should happen, right? Automatically, this should become my principal.
And
And that should become mirror if I fix that. Currently, let's say some problem happened and nobody is there to take care of it. So how application is designed, they will have connection string. Okay, they will keep checking. Okay, if an error come in the connection with the server 1, then connect to server 2. That way they will put a condition in the code. Okay, so as soon as there is an issue with this, if I refresh it, it should be red actually. So I've stopped this one. So you can check it from here also. Server 1, if I refresh it, it should be stopped, right?
Yep.
And I'm not able to connect to that. It has become red, crash has happened. So now this should automatically take the role of a principal, right? So let's refresh it and see if that works.
There you go. Okay.
Right? Automatically, it became principal. And I should have all the data that we inserted. I should have 2 records in this, right? So let's see.
So now once the other one is online,
yeah,
all the transactions happen in this will be synced?
Yes, that's the beauty of it. Okay.
Okay.
So if I fix it, for example, next day that DBS got an alert like principal server is no longer responding. The next day they come and fix it, and then they start it again. So will it become principal if they fix it automatically? No. It will become what? Now fixed, it's running. So now let's see what happens to this. March 29th. It's showing principal synchronized. Let's refresh and then see what it become.
Got it.
Mirror.
Okay.
Mirror in recovery, and whatever transitions are happened, it will pick all those automatically. And it will continue to behave as mirror.
Okay.
Right? Some problem with it. It should say connected, and then it has gone in recovery actually. It's in recovery. Okay. It should become like restoring, right? Yeah, now it became, right? Mirror. It picked those transactions, which whatever, maybe for 2 days, thousands of records went to principal. So it will get all of them. Now the DBA want it to be principal again. I want my systems to be the same as they were. Although I'm saying like principal and mirror should have the same workload, but normally companies will try to save some amount here. So they won't give it the exact same configuration. It will be a little bit cheaper than the principal because server costs a lot of bucks. So they will try to save some amount. So DBAs have to fix this actually. They don't want to keep it as mirror. So what I will do, I'll go here, I'll go to properties, I will do a manual failover now. Okay. So I will come to mirroring, I will say failover. So now I'm telling it's saying failovering will swap the roles of mirror and principal. Now principal will become mirror, mirror will become principal. Done. So now let's refresh. Oh, some problem in my machine. Login failed. I need to see this actually. Some problem in my machine, I think. Last time also it came. But I didn't see it. So what will happen now? It will automatically, this is a manual failover. So now my principal should become, it became principal. Although it gave error, but now it is principal. Right? Server 1 became principal again. I did a manual failover. Got it? Oh, now I'm not even able to connect to anything. Some problem. I can't see any database on server too. Let me restart it. Is that clear?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So this one is a very interesting and important, very important concept, because it helps your business to be available even if a problem occurs. So there is a minimum downtime. So how much downtime will be there? Only the duration when the principal is changing its role to mirror. So
Mm.
so only during the role swap, probably a couple of seconds. That's it.
Mm.
Okay. So this is very useful for businesses, and this is what they want. Like, we should be up and running. Oh, something has happened. I'm not able to connect to this. March 29th is doing some mischief. Okay, anyway, let that go.
But I understood. Yeah.
Yeah. So the main point was that. So we came back, we did a automatic failover, we did a manual failover, and we saw how the roles are switched automatically if witness is added.
Yes.
Okay. And if there is no witness, then I have to go and manually do failover. Then it will work. So that's it about mirroring. Okay. So tomorrow, that's all for today. So we'll talk about next thing tomorrow. We'll talk about replications, which is again very important.
Got it.
Do you use it in your company, mirroring? Sorry, replication.
Yes.
Yeah, most companies have. Okay, fine. So let's meet tomorrow, same time, and we'll do replication.
Okay. Yeah. Can you send me the recording?
Yeah, sure, I will.
Okay. Yeah.
Where should I send it? On your Gmail?
I'll give you the drive link. You can upload there.
Okay, fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just ping me that.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
See you tomorrow. Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.